Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President of Egencia, Rob Graber.
Thank you very, very much. My name is Rob Graber. It is terrific to be back in Boston. It's great to be back at GBTA. It's always a fantastic week for us to be able to connect with so many of our clients, of our terrific partners, of our colleagues and friends, and also Dave Hilfman. Where is Dave? Where did he go? Remind me to tell you the story of the time I was on a call with Dave Hilfman. I said, Dave, I have to hang up right now or I may get a divorce. And Dave, being the sympathetic guy that he is, he said, no problem, just 3 more things. So in a moment, it will be my honor to welcome to the stage Barry Diller and Eric Schwartzer, who's going to share some thoughts on convergence. But it occurred to me that many of you know Barry by reputation, the reputation as a Hollywood titan, as an industry luminary, somebody who knows and is renowned for acumen into insights and what audiences want, into where tastes are going, in what technology companies and solutions might be relevant in the future. But you may be wondering, what does he know about travel? And certainly, what does he know about business travel? And to frame this a little bit for you, to give you a sense of what he knows about our industry, as well as what he knows about convergence, which is the obvious theme here in Boston, I thought I might tell you a very quick story. That story is set in 2001. And Barry and his team had already started to make some investments in the travel industry, but they were evaluating their biggest investment, which would be in Expedia. It was about $1.5 billion investment from memory, and this was announced in July of 2001. Before the deal could close, the terrible events of September 11th came into the market, and no matter where you were, you remember those terrible days in between. The CEO of Expedia at the time, Rich Barton, called Barry and said, look, Barry, I know in the contract that we've negotiated, there is an out, a material adverse change clause, force majeure, and if ever there was a time where this was an extraordinary event, this was it. So if you want to walk away, you can do that. We know you can. But just please make a decision quickly, because we have to tell our team which way we're going. So Barry assembled his group in New York, and remember, there were no airplanes literally flying anywhere in the United States. And contemplating investing $1 billion in the travel industry at that time, can you imagine the discussion? All the different viewpoints were represented around the table. Some people said we should absolutely go forward. Other people said we should renegotiate the price because things have obviously changed. Some people said walk away. Others said let's take our dollars and invest somewhere else in the industry outside of travel. Barry listened to all of those perspectives, and he turned to the room as it grew quiet, and he said, and he basically shared his decision. And that decision was this: where there's life, there's travel. Where there's life, there's travel. Let's go and close the deal. So as he looks at things like convergence, which bring excitement and possibility and promise, but also anxiety, as we'll talk about in a moment, his ability to see the long term has been valuable to me in my 13 years at Expedia, and I think it'll be valuable for you as well. But on convergence, we see convergence bringing excitement and promise and possibility. Did all of you see these booths out on the show floor yesterday? Right? Everyone talking about what's going to happen and things that are cooking and all of the new things that are happening. Who visited this booth? The one that had uncertainty and change and risk and anxiety and confusion. Did anyone visit that? Did anyone visit that stand? No? The truth is that convergence is bringing all of those things. The elements of technology that are moving into more and more of our lives are bringing all of these things as well as possibility. It creates change, but it also creates significant opportunities for us. So how do all of you start to make sense of what's coming? How do you provide the same kind of clarity that Barry and others around the industry have provided when they look forward? One place that I look, each year I look forward to a report by a person named Mary Meeker. She's an analyst in Silicon Valley at Kleiner Perkins. She was on Wall Street before that. And it's a 300-page plus report. It's available for download, but I'll take you through it now on page 2 starting. No. We're going to talk about 4 quick things that I thought were particularly insightful from from her work this year on voice, gaming, enterprise, and then her perspective on where all of this is going. First, if you look at voice, starting in 1999, if you worked with experiences, if you worked with a website, you probably had an interaction that looked like this. You would do a search, you'd have a workflow, you would either find your answer or book your ticket or be able to find your product. More and more, and really at scale, starting in 2018, your ability to start interactions and workflows with voice, with artificial intelligence, inferring your intent, and then creating learnings that will improve the fulfillment process, that's what's coming. And if all of that sounds futuristic, come on, I manage a travel program in the Midwest, think about it this way. The Google voice technology is now at 95% accuracy, which is roughly the same as Dave Hilfman after a couple of drinks. But if you think about it, IBM, Microsoft, Amazon, many others have access to this technology today. It is absolutely coming, and it will change how it is that we expect to interact more and more. The next trend that Mary Meeker talks about is gaming, and how gaming, on some level, video gaming has become a preparation for all of us to feel more comfortable with a human-computer interaction at a next level. And we already see this, the virtual that is moving into the physical. The virtual that's moving into the physical. A great example is Peloton cycling. I think Marriott at their booth right at the entrance has a Peloton station set up. You can go for a bicycle ride every morning with people you will never meet, on roads you will never visit, or maybe even that don't exist. And you can do it in the comfort of your own home or at your hotel while you're on the road. Electronic Arts has Madden Football. The virtual leagues are actually able to predict the crowdsourcing insights, predict the winner of the Super Bowl with something like 70% accuracy. If you look at even some of the experiences you have when you're watching the Super Bowl, those angles where the television camera is sweeping around, a lot of those were first developed in video games, and we said we could actually build that. And that's how some of those things, those technologies were developed, the virtual creeping into the physical. The third trend that Mary Meeker talks about is the enterprise. Increasingly at work, it's a mirror of what we see in the consumer marketplace. This is a powerful insight. It means that technologies that used to be customized and then bolted down like cash registers and points of sale are now beautiful and free and available. And in turn, this is changing the way enterprise technology companies even work. As recently as 2010, most enterprise companies had a ratio of engineers to designers of 70-1. Maybe some of them were at 11-1. Some companies today still don't even have design teams that work with technology. Today in 2017, the best practice is around 10-1, and it continues to accelerate as the expectations of enterprise technology continue to evolve. When Mary Meeker steps back and tries to put all this together, she sees 3 broad eras of human development. The first was pre-18th century extraction, when we were just trying to pull the resources we needed to live out of our environment every day through hunting or farming or whatever. Industrialization, the ability not just to create things, but to move them around the world at phenomenal speeds. And today, she believes we're moving into a world where human potential, married with powerful technology, will create a 21st era of new human potential. So what will this mean? How do we start to think about this? Well, first, at work. Today we have Bring Your Child to Work Day. Tomorrow it might be Bring Your AI to Work Day, where your virtual assistants exchange ideas on how to work with you better. Multitasking becomes metatasking. Productivity rises, but jobs and roles and industry changes. The anxiety and the confusion with the promise. What does this mean when we think about fun? Today we listen to music, but actually music is listening to us. Spotify can create experiences on the fly to match your moods or preferences, and even tell musicians what's going to be a hit before they write the song. What will this mean for travel? Less fear of the unknown, less fear of languages and landscapes and landmarks, all more accessible. Less loss of continuity while you're on the road. Every airplane and Air Force One, every hotel room, a secure communications center, all of those things reserved for government officials or heads of state available to you. At Egencia, these trends have changed everything that we do. Our organizational structure, our decision-making, our investments, even what we don't do. We don't have product roadmaps anymore. We make decisions in 30 and 120-day cycles, and that's it. So convergence is going to mean another fascinating decade, another fascinating generation in business travel. It's here today. It brings all the turbulent and uncertain and confusing waters that change always brings. It won't stop because we haven't nearly reached the limits of technology's ability to drive innovation. Not nearly. We're very excited to take this journey together. I hope you're looking forward to Barry and Eric's conversation as much as I am. Thank you very, very much for your time today.